Welcome everyone to Bet What Happens live for this Thursday night football contest between the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, we're at the 2-minute warning. Dallas leads by a score of 17-14. They're at the 10-yard line, first and goal. Grant, what do you think so far? What do you got?
I don't have any bets that are looking fantastic right now, but I got some that I'm looking at. Games are starting off great for me. Pretty much outside of Dallas crushing it right now. Pretty much going how I thought it would with the Seahawks. I figured it'd be a little bit of an up-paced game. I figured that Metcalf was going to get right spot. Both teams are playing really well. I mean, should be tied right now in this field goal, obviously. And then it's just been Dallas didn't get into the end zone, being close. It should be higher scoring than it is right now. And that total, I mean, we were talking about pre-show, the under's looking solid, but it's just that they're just firing on all cylinders, both teams. I mean, it could make a pre or halftime adjustment, but as of right now, this game's looking like an actual good Thursday night football game, which we don't get too often. But bet I'm looking at right now where I want to see what the model has to say is Geno Smith over 4.5 rushing yards. Some games he runs, some games he doesn't. Sometimes it depends on the matchup, but the game script right now is not looking too bad. Decent chance he can actually get it on this next drive. I won't be surprised to see him scramble if the Seahawks get the ball back with enough time. So that's why I'm kind of looking at this moment. What does the model say at Geno over 4.5?
The model says we're paying the juice right at 50-50. Literally 50-50. I mean, technically, if you want, it's 50.7 versus 49.3 to the over.
I think I'm rolling with it. I think model's not in disagreement. So we also add that the Seahawks get the ball to start the second half.
That's true.
Bumps it up enough. I'm rolling with it. Yeah, over 4.5, minus 115 over ESPN.
Can't really go wrong fading Grant right now. He hasn't missed a bet. We were talking pre-show. He hasn't missed a bet for like 2 days, over like 15 bets or something. So I think you have to go with Geno Smith over 4.5 rush yards. We're showing a sliver of value. Well, I should say a sliver of percentage to the over. Not enough to beat the juice, but you consider Seattle could get the ball back here and they'll start with the ball in the second half. Probably adds enough value there to go Geno Smith over 4.5 rushing yards as Grant's first pick here on Bet What Happens Live. What else you got, Grant?
Just looking at the game script, how it's going to go. It's interesting right now. Geno Smith, his passing yards line, there's 13 yards of difference between some sites. DK at 293.5, Bet Rivers at 306.5. He's looked solid, but he's not in the game script is probably favoring him. And yes, he gets this drive. And yes, he gets the ball at the beginning of the second half. Only 10 passing attempts. They're still running the ball on the ground to send him out. He's at 144 passing yards, and 75 of that was to Metcalf. So half of his yards have come on one pass. He's good. I actually took his over on this game for passing yards, but now it's kind of looking like the under is the better move. So at 305.5, I want to hear what the model has to say. And we can wait until the second half realistically.
Yeah, exactly. We can wait till the second half realistically. Model has 290 right now, but again, Seattle's going to get the ball back probably here and start with the ball in the second half. So I think the line is pretty fair. Maybe I would lean a little under, but we also, like you said, could wait for halftime on this one as well.
Well, it's bouncing all over the place. It was just at 306.5 over at Fanatics, and now it's down to 300 291, 292, 293 in most places. Still over at Bet Rivers. I think it's not too bad at 299.5 with minus 107 juice on the under. I'm not against hitting that, but I think the smart move is to wait until halftime to see where it's at, because this drive will kind of determine like how well he really is playing tonight, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, this is definitely going to determine that. We're sitting here where the live money line is bouncing around even just based off of the plays that are happening. And that is certainly a factor in what could happen here. I mean, if Dallas gets field goal, they get a touchdown, they get no points, changes the situation a lot. If something were to happen, maybe a kicker shanks a field goal, like we've already seen once happen tonight. So Now, granted, it was the Seahawks kicker, but you get the point. There's pretty high leverage spot here as far as what the win probability is going to be based off the result of this drive. And it is 3rd and 10 for Dallas at the 10-yard line. So we'll probably know pretty well after this play. And looks like Dak is running it and not going to get the touchdown. So it'll be 4th down. Now it's a big decision point because it's 4th and 3. So just another big decision spot here. So we just kind of
keep. Yeah. So I want to get, before this next drive starts for the Seahawks, I want to get the model's thoughts. Tyler Lockett over 40.5 receiving yards. He's currently sitting at 13 right now. Only 2 targets, but there's only been 10 passes by Geno Smith. They're going to have this drive. They're going to get the ball at the beginning of the second half. I know I like Geno's under, but that was just because it was an unrealistic line at 306 where the numbers settled. It's probably about right. I think potentially the Lockett over. I mean, because it's not like Metcalf. This is Metcalf's game so far, but he's gotten 2 catches. Let's be honest. He's gotten 2 long bombs. Lockett has been very heavily used pretty much all season long. The split has been pretty close to 50-50 between Metcalf. Everyone's on Metcalf's over. And realistically, I think Lockett live line right now is probably a better play at 40.5.
Yeah, well, as you say that, Dallas just scores a touchdown here, so that changes things as well. But for Lockett, to answer your question, we're at 46, so 45.5, something like that would be, pretty much similar. But
it was
that will definitely change.
40.5. Now it's up to 41.5.
Yeah, I would take the over. Because Seattle has the ball now. They're going to get the ball started in the second half, and Dallas just scored, so it's going to be a lot more passing here. So we're taking over 41.5 receiving yards for Tyler Lockett. I'm on that one here with Grant. I like that one a lot. I am going to update the money line for. It looks like there's a penalty on the play, so no touchdown. Now they're going to be Dallas is going to be attempting a field goal. So that changes things a little bit, but Dallas is still probably going to extend the lead to 20-14.
I've got another bet that I want to hear the model. Zach Charbonnet over 11.5 receiving yards. Has not had a single catch so far in this game, but the passing script is kind of really good. Obviously, no Kenneth Walker. He had 4 targets, 4 receptions last week, 6 and 6 the week before, 4 and 5 the week before. He's a good receiving back. His snap count being what it is. We haven't seen much targets for him this game, but I think he actually has. Yeah, he has 0. And DJ Dallas has 1. So DJ Dallas is being used a little bit more in the 3rd down role. But Charbonnet should be involved in the receiving game a little bit more. There's only been 10 Geno Smith passes. And we're about to have some more on this drive. I think he gets a dump off to Charbonnet. I think that he might hit on this line. So what's the model say?
Model says, what was the line again? I'll just pop
11.5.
11.5. We have 53% to the over. I do worry that I think this will be a DJ Dallas drive here.
It could be. I'm still rolling with it. I'm hitting the over because it's only -110 juice over at FanDuel. So that's, I think, just enough to beat the juice according to the model. And I think that there's more value in, again, getting the first drive of the second half.
As well.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So that's just enough to probably bring it to 55 in the model. Rolling with that one. Let's not really anything else I'm loving at the moment. Geno Smith's yardage is at 299.5 still, but again, this drive, we're just going to wait for the end of it. I'm looking at rushing yard totals. Charbonnet at 43.5. I'm honestly looking at the under there, 44.5 in the lost spots, 51.5 over at Bet Rivers. Okay, what's the model say?
On Charbonnet rushing yards, we have 15 so far. We have a total of 43.3 with what'd you say the line is?
51.5. So I'm -117 at Bet Rivers.
Yeah, we're showing quite a bit of value. Oh, I put that in receiving. But either way, we are showing quite a bit of value to the under here. So we have 67% to the under, although Again, Seattle starting with the ball in the second half will reduce that value a little bit. We're still showing plenty of value to the under here on Charbonnet's rushing yards.
Yep. All right. Let's see. What's Dex?
51.5 was pretty much his pregame line before it went up, closer to game time.
Yeah, Rivers was just a little bit off there. Rivers is kind of off on most of these lines, it looks like right now. But I mean, still at 45.5 over at Fanatics, 44.5 over at ESPN Bet. Yeah, Bet Rivers took it down. Yeah, that makes sense. They realized
45.5. At 45.5, we're showing around 55% to the under. So not as much value there at 45.5.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at other ones. I'm just checking the yardage totals. Cooks. Ooh. So Cooks is sitting at, I kind of actually really like this one. Over 57.5 over at FanDuel for Cooks receiving yards.
7.5. And he has how many right now?
He's at 42.
42. We have 63.9. So we have 57.5% to the over. Now, again, mentally adjust that down for the half is going to end. And look, honestly, I'm just gonna pop this into second half and see what it says for second half. We're showing, now if I pop it over to the second half, it's around 50-50 because Dallas is not going to get the ball back in this half, most likely, or at least do anything significant in this half. So we're right at 50-50 once we tick this over to the second half on Brandon Cooks receiving yards. We're right at that number.
All right. Yeah. No, I'm gonna lay off of then. I still like it. I'm not going to fault anyone for taking it 59.5. Well, now it's at 59.5.
Well, our median is 59.5.
Yeah. So I'm going to stay away. I think the model, maybe I'm higher on Cooks than the model. We'll put it that way. But not enough to pull the trigger yet. Now that's at 59.5 and 57.5 still probably a little bit close, probably just marginal value where I'm not quite ready to fire. Let's see. Tony Pollard is at 19 rushing yards. Current live line is 50.5. I don't get Pollard right. What does the model say about that?
Pollard is always a hard one to pin down. It is saying his median yards are going to be 56.5 total.
Okay. So it likes the over there, but we'll lay off of that and see what happens on the rest of this drive for the Seahawks.
Yeah, exactly. So it is 3rd and 3 here for the Seahawks, and looks like a completed pass to Jackson Smith-Njigba here to move the chains. 1st and 10, 41 seconds left in the half. Seattle trailing by 6 points, a score of 20-14. So we've run through a whole bunch of props so far, and we've definitely got a few plays in here, but this drive is going to be pretty important. If Seattle gets a touchdown here, they take the lead. Probably.
Yeah, no, and I might be looking at Dak's over for passing yards at 330 roughly.
Mm-hmm. Right now we have Dak at 316.5. But again, I think with this high leverage situation here, if Seattle were to score, especially a touchdown, that is definitely going to change in the model. That'll go up. So, but Dallas doesn't have the ball here. They're not going to start with the ball in the second half. So right now we would be showing some undervalue on that, especially if Seattle is unable to come away with points here.
Yeah, just looking at other things. There's nothing else standing out. A lot of lines are obviously down right now. There's so much up in the air. FanDuel has some Dallas lines up there. But yeah, we'll see. That Cooks line could potentially get a little bit of a boost if the Seahawks score here. It's down to 57.5. So a little bit of interest.
If you're in chat there, what do you guys have questions for while we're waiting for halftime to kind of get here? If you have any questions on any live props, any bets that you're considering, drop them in chat. We'll see what the model says. We'll get Grant's thoughts on it, and yeah, that would be great, because sometimes we miss some things, and then chat will give us like a, hey, what about this? And we'll see it and be like, wow, yeah, great find. That's it's good value. We've definitely hit a few of those this year.
Yeah, an interesting one, the model, or here model slots. Uncle Rico Waddle, over 18.5 rushing yards. He's currently sitting at 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna like the over on that, I would bet. I liked it pregame, so let me just check here. He said he's currently sitting at 10 rushing yards.
Yep.
Yeah, we got 69 nice percent to the over.
Nice, just moved to 17.5, hitting it.
Yep, 17.5. Rico Dowdle over 17.5 rushing yards. We're showing 70% value on that one, guys. So Rico Dowdle over 17.5 rushing yards, like Grant said.
I don't know why I always want to call him Dwaddle.
Yeah, he already has 10 rushing yards. He's been getting a lot more playing time in recent weeks. Ever since the bye week, he has not had a week where he's been under 19% snap share, whereas in the first 6 weeks of the season, that's basically where he capped out. He capped out around 20% snap share, and now he's pretty much always above 20% snap share, with 3 of the last 5 games being almost 30% or over 30% snap share. So if Dallas continues to expand this lead, we should see more Rico Dowdle. I like that over 17.5 rushing yards. Rico Dowdle, Grant and I both on that one.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, he's already got 3 rushing attempts. Like, they use him while he's in the game. 3 rushing attempts a catch. It's clear that Pollard isn't as great as he was last year. Who knows why? But I mean, Dowdle just looks better than him, straight up better than him. And I think everyone agrees on that. It's small sample size, it's variance, it's some reason we see often there's a Lockett catch. We see backup running backs look fantastic, and then as soon as they get an every down back thing, I mean, maybe it's just because teams know how to scheme against them more, and it's he as the secondary back, like I'm not going to be surprised if he gets a 10-yard rush or if he gets 5 carries. Like, number just seems off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see.
So we got a couple questions in chat. Live over under. What do we think about that? So, obviously that has changed since we went on air. Now it's 58.5 at FanDuel, 58.5 at DraftKings. We currently have 34 points. So to get 58.5, we would need another 24 points to stay under, 25 points to go over.
Yeah, that seems about where it should be.
Yeah. The pregame line was like right around 47.5, and so 24 points to be almost exactly half of that. The pace splits say that these two teams actually speed up a little bit in a close game scenario, and
that's a JSN touchdown.
Yeah, I was to say, and with that play there, that definitely changes things. We now have Dallas potentially trailing here, assuming this extra point is in. There is a flag here. Penalty decline. All right, so we're good. Yeah, so that is a massive change to things. And, now glad we didn't take any Dak Prescott unders or anything like that. That would have been terrible for that to happen. And all of a sudden Seattle take the lead here. So
shout out to Glenn, who had JSN anytime touchdown.
Yeah, there you go. I was showing pregame, I was showing value on Brandon Cooks.
That might get called back.
I didn't roll.
That might get a call back.
It's close.
The ball did move when it hit the ground. It's going to be interesting. It doesn't look like he has complete control. But that might be a tough one.
That's tough.
It doesn't look like the ball actually moved.
Yeah, it might have
hit the ground, but he had it pretty secure. His hand moved that kind of made it look like that. I think that's going to stand.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah, that might stand. Was definitely a weird one. The ball touched the ground, but touching the ground doesn't necessarily mean it's incomplete, as Grant was saying here. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the call there. But for the meantime, we're just kind of in a holding pattern until we wait and see what this call is, because this is going to be a massive leverage spot here if it stands versus if it's overturned.
Yeah. No, it changes virtually everything. I mean, the fact like Dallas could be throwing the ball a ton in the second half because Seahawks got the ball first.
Yeah.
They end up scoring. They could be up 8 points where they just a few minutes ago were about to be down. What is it, 14 or 10? Yeah. So it's
exactly. Yeah. They're about to be down 10 and now they're only down 6 and could take the lead here based off of the result of this challenge or, review, I should say. It's not a challenge.
Yeah. See, it's coming. Nothing better than just waiting on a review.
No, exactly.
It's so exciting.
Do you see anything for Dak Prescott rushing yards out there? Because
it was sitting at 22.5. It's saying at 20.5 over at FanDuel.
20.5 at FanDuel is the line there. Let me just check DraftKings real quick. They have it ghosted out.
Yeah, I think it's still ghosted
20.5. Yeah. We're showing overvalue on Dak on his rushing yards.
Nice 106. We're hitting it.
Yep. Let's do it, especially if this play stands. So
yeah, let's just hit it.
Yeah, we're gonna hit it. I'm taking it. Dak Prescott over 20.5 rushing yards. I did see the question in chat when it was 19.5. It's bumped up a yard since then, but we're still showing that value.
But minus 106 juice on the over now, so marginally worse.
Dak Prescott over on rushing yards, 20.5 at FanDuel, minus 106 on the juice. We're showing, like I said, around 61% to the over on that, right in between 60 and 61%. So got to take that one for sure. All right, so
just still holding, just
holding. waiting on this result, and we're just gonna have to keep holding. But that Dak play, the Dak bet there, independent of what happens on this play, I think is still a good bet.
Yeah, but if this play stands, it's a great bet.
Yes, exactly. If this play stands, it's a great bet.
Yeah.
All right.
They're at the 1.
Now
I forgot it was PI. That's Fant.
Now that was a touchdown.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So no Jackson Smith-Njigba touchdown, but it appears there is still a touchdown to, I believe that was Noah Fant, like you said, for the touchdown there. So they called a timeout there. So no touchdown still. What a wild end of this half. There was a timeout right before the play.
Gosh. It's so rough watching this game without sound.
Yeah. Trying to live bet this when everything is everything is happening. That's wild.
Yeah, and Seahawks have no timeouts. A sack changes the entire course of the game.
Yeah, even a field goal changes everything. But Seattle just kind of has to go for
I don't imagine that they go for a field goal at all.
I wouldn't think so. Wouldn't think so.
2 seconds.
Touchdown anyway. All right. So all that is moot. DK Metcalf with his second touchdown of the game. And another flag.
Please just be
offside. Play
perfect.
Stands.
All right.
Okay.
I'm also a Seahawks fan. So this is all sorts of emotions here. And my good friend is a Dallas fan, so I want to be able to tell him to go screw himself after the game. So fun stuff. Gosh, I love football. It's so nice to have a good Thursday night football game.
It is.
You don't see that too often. And this is one of the more exciting halves we've seen all year long. In
Absolutely.
Any game.
Yeah, in any game. So extra point, good. So officially, Seattle leads by 1 point over the Dallas Cowboys here, 21-20. That field goal still kind of looms large as well, that missed field goal. because they would have more than a field goal lead now. Had that not happened, Seattle Seahawks would. So just to reset here, based off the live money line, Dallas is about a 2-1 favorite to win this game still. So it's not, a situation where Dallas has to be scrambling like crazy to be throwing the ball or anything like that. They can still establish the run. But at the same time, the game is a lot closer than we initially thought. So that's kind of where things are going to stand as we head into halftime.
Yeah. No, it's just looking at the line so Cooks is at 60.5.
Mm-hmm.
What is the model's thoughts on that? Because it's sitting at 65.5 most other places, but FanDuel is.
FanDuel's got the sharper side, I would say. I would lean to the under on 65.5 because we have 61 as the median for the rest of the game, and they don't even start with the ball now.
Yeah, I forgot they don't start with the ball. Yeah, we'll stay away from that one. Let's see. Pollard potentially 24.5 receiving yards. Any thought the model have any big thoughts on that? Is anything standing out in the model right now? He's currently at 17. Again, more of a passing game script now.
Yeah. So 24.5, you said on Pollard?
25.5 now, yeah.
25.5. We have just a slight lean to the over, about 54% to the over.
I'm going to stay away. Our Lockett bet's looking real solid. Charbonnet, indifferent now still.
Exactly.
Looking at the rushing yard totals, Pollard's all the way down to 46.5, 43.5 in some spots. I don't think that has any value on either side. Dodal, if you didn't already get that line at 19.5 or 17.5, it's at 16.5. Still like that with him trailing. Dak, line still at 20.5, slightly more juice on the over. Still love that. But I guess we should. Dak's passing yards are now set at 345, 350, depending on the site. I'm kind of thinking the under now.
Well, we're showing 330.5. And obviously Dallas doesn't start with the ball here now. Of course, if Seattle comes out and scores a touchdown or something like that, that isn't going to be ideal for it. But, at some point they're probably going to get stopped. So we're showing around 57% to the under at 350.5.
Yeah, let's hit that. It's still pretty good at that's at Fanatics, which have been rolled out in more places. It's still 346 over at Bet Rivers, 348 over at Caesars. Still like all those lines, but if you can get it over Fanatics, it's definitely a better one. Let's check out some.
Even if you only have FanDuel, we're still showing 56%, 56% right in between those two to the under. So that would be 343.5 would be even if you're getting in at the worst possible number, we're still showing undervalue there. So we're going to take Dak Prescott under his live passing yards, 350.5 at Fanatics, 346.5 at some books, which is where I think most people will be able to get it at 346.5.
Yeah, I feel like, was it you that was on Tolbert anytime touchdown the other week, or was that Jill?
That was, I think both Jill and I were on Tolbert and Turpin.
That was it, Turpin. So Tolbert is sitting at plus 1,300. Turpin sitting at plus 1,100. I have no read on those two guys. I generally will just trust you.
I have the model for Turpin at plus 1,200 right now live, and Tolbert at plus 1,250 live.
Yeah, it's a very marginal value on Tolbert, no value on Turpin. 650 on JSN.
Jackson Smith Njigba at 650. We have 670, but they are starting with ball, so about 650 would be fair. Tyler Lockett, we're showing value on him at plus 550. We have 5-1 fair value on Tyler Lockett.
I don't hate that. I'd roll a half unit on that if you decide to.
Yeah, let's go Tyler Lockett, half a unit for an anytime touchdown, plus 550. He's definitely been involved. We obviously, so is DK, so has JSN, but Lockett has 5 targets, the most targets of anyone so far, 4 catches, 30 yards, just hasn't gotten in the end zone, but certainly he's getting involved. So Tyler Lockett plus 550 for an anytime touchdown. Grant and I are rolling with, does the model have QB interceptions? Oh, yes. We always have QB interceptions when we talk about.
Nick loves an interception bet.
I love a good interception bet. So
you got
right
those
now
interception numbers ready to roll?
I do. We'll come back to the anytime touchdowns after we go to the interception numbers. Gina, we're not showing value at FanDuel. I have up at plus 124. We have plus 158. We would need at least on
best
Gina.
line is 155. So
yeah, so right there. Dak Prescott, we have it plus 267 to throw an interception.
Best line is 210. So
nope. So no value on the interception props, unfortunately, for either Gino or Dak. We're pretty much right in line with the market because if you wanted to take the no side on Dak, you're looking at like minus 300, and we're not paying that because we only have minus 267 is fair. So no interception props in this one. Let's go back to those anytime touchdowns.
Yeah. I'm looking at Pollard's at plus 160. Looks like or 175 is the best line.
Yeah, we're 185.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. 2+ touchdowns. There we go. CD Lamb 180 plus 180.
Yeah, we're at plus 270.
Yeah, I was gonna say Charbonnet plus 220. That's a little bit closer, but still probably not any value.
Yeah, your instincts are right, sir.
And then Cooks plus 550. I doubt that's value.
Why is DK Metcalf not showing up on 2+?
Because he has 2 touchdowns, so 3+ touchdowns.
Oh, he would be 3+. That's right.
Plus 400 over at FanDuel.
Yeah, we're at plus 475. So let me real quick look at the tight ends here. Ferguson for anytime touchdown plus 320. Now we're at plus 530. And obviously
Sanchez at plus 1500.
I don't hate that. We're at plus 1390 and they start with the ball, and they did just target him in the end zone before that thing got called back.
Yeah, I mean, we can roll with I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, we can do like what, 1/10 of a unit, just win 1.5 units if we hit.
Yeah, 1/10 of a unit. Ain't nothing.
We'll go 1/10 of a unit on Noah Fant touchdown, 15-1 at FanDuel.
I've already hit
another pick.
I've already hit 1 plus 1700 on this game. So
that's right. Yeah.
I'm feeling.
You had that first touchdown with DK Metcalf, and you hit
those
that.
Are generally terrible bets, but every once in a while one stands out. Just like, what are they thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And
so Noah Fant, anytime touchdown, 15-1 at FanDuel. We've made some bets. So we had a long, kind of a long ending to the half there with the penalties and the review and the more penalties. So we got some time to kill here. Still around 6 minutes until halftime is over.
Did we look at Dak at all?
From chat and Grant. Yeah, what else?
Dak anytime touchdown plus 700 at ESPN bet. That's a bit of an outlier number.
Dak 7-1. We're at 10-1 live.
Yeah, I didn't think that would have any value, but the main thing is that one of the best things you can do.
What do you see how about for Gino? What do you see?
Gino is currently sitting at 13-1.
Okay, yeah, we have about 13-1 is fair. So I was going to say I saw 13 at FanDuel. I didn't know if ESPN Bet or somewhere else had even better. But
no, but yeah, one of the best things you can do on a lot of bets is look for the outlier number. Have 20 screens open like I do, and look for the outlier number.
I have a bunch of tabs and screens open. The other problem is though, I've also got the model open, which is taking up some real estate there. So
I'm here to give you the odds because
exactly.
You're here to give me the numbers. That's how things work.
Exactly. So chat, what do you guys got for us? Cowboys over 34.5 points. Right now they're sitting at 20, so they would need, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Maybe they get a touchdown, and since they'll be up by 5, they go for a 2-point conversion to put them up 7, and then one more touchdown will put them over. I didn't
think about the fact that they're down by 1. That actually, I was going to say I'd roll with the under, but that makes it a little bit tougher.
Yeah,
I'd probably honestly, they've been better than the Seahawks. Both teams have been fantastic, but they've been better. Like their offense is firing. They've been solid. I
Seattle's
mean,
gained a lot on penalty yards. A couple long PIs and stuff like that.
long PI and
So
then a massive DK Metcalf touch the line sitting at. I could potentially see Seahawks plus 3.5. I'm staying away from that. That line. That I mean, yeah, I guess 2-point conversion is what's getting me.
I see a good question here in chat. What does the model have Lockett and JSN receptions at? So I need to pop in these numbers real quick. Lockett, I think we said, has 4 receptions. JSN has 3. Give me just 1 second. So rest of game, or I should say total receptions, it has Lockett on the dot 6.5 and has JSN on the dot at 5.
So if my script might be running wrong. Let me just find it. Why can I never find things when I want to?
I know, right?
I don't see receptions up almost anywhere.
Let me look at
there we go. All receptions
often has it. No, they don't.
7+ is sitting at plus 124
for Lockett.
Yeah,
we're right in line with that. What about JSN?
Aren't we at 6.5 as the median? So plus 124 on 7+.
Yeah, so 7. That's going to be right in line because he would need 3 to get that. But 2.5 is the mean. The median's a little bit lower than that because of the way the distribution works.
Okay, yeah, I got it. JSN at 6+ is plus 116, so probably not offering a whole lot of value on that one.
We got 5 almost exactly as the average there. Yeah, I don't see receptions up at DraftKings or FanDuel. I know most people use those books, but if you have Bet365, there's a couple other spots as well that will have receptions.
Yeah, I always forget that they have receptions. That's one thing I don't have open, and it's tough to get imported in because of FanDuel being the 4+, 5+, 6+.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll just look at that. JSN over 5.5 plus 150.
JSN over 5.5 plus 150. We're right at 5, like I said. So I don't hate that one.
I thought you were at 5.5.
We're right at 5 for JSN. Tyler Lockett, we're right at 6.5, like I said, for an average. So a little bit lower for median, but over is plus 145.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably worth it.
So I do like Tyler Lockett over 6.5 receptions plus 145 at Bet365. If you got that available to you, you definitely need to take it because we're showing, more like plus 110 as fair. So getting 35 cents is really nice. You got to take that. Plus Seattle starting with the ball here in the second half.
Yeah. What about Metcalf? We're getting plus 104 odds at 6+.
And he has how many right now? 4 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
We're right at 5.5 for average. And you said he's 5. Yeah,
plus
we're like right in line.
Yeah,
we're like right in line with that one. It's probably one to stay away from. Lockett definitely showing the best value of the 3. He also has had the most targets of the 3, which is nice because they've definitely been looking for Lockett here. So I think you got to go Tyler Lockett over 6.5 receptions plus 145. That's a nice one there.
Yeah, and then Pollard over 3.5 plus 110.
Pollard over 3.5 receptions plus 110. He has I was looking at rushes. I was like 9. He has 2 right now. So we have 1.5 almost on the dot.
Yeah, I'm staying away.
Yeah, I think we'll stay away. So we got less than a minute here before we come back from halftime. So we've made a bunch of bets. We looked at receptions, we looked at touchdowns, interceptions, yards, all that stuff. So I think Grant and I are going to wrap it up there. We appreciate all the questions in chat. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Hit that like button. We'll be back for Monday Night Football, and I am going to be in studio in New York City in the Action Network studio for that one. So I'm looking forward to that. Grant will be there, not in New York, but on the show with me. I almost startled him there for a moment, but that'll do it for this bet.
You're giving me a reason to travel to New York. I wasn't going to argue.
There you go. So that'll do it for this Bet What Happens Live. We'll see you all on Monday for that one. And as always, make sure to follow Bet What Happens Live in the Action app. That way you can track all the bets there. And we'll see you on Monday, folks. Good luck. Enjoy the game.
Thank you, kids.